So if you are not trying to come to net on your second serve because you are worried about your opponent hitting the ball here and giving you a tough shoelace volley, that's a mistake. Look, I get it because those are obviously really difficult volleys to hit, but you are giving up too much of an advantage even on your second serve. So what I would recommend early in the match is you actually want to try and serve and volley on your second serve. And if your opponent starts dropping returns down at your feet here, so that's not good, but there is an alternative. There's an adjustment you can make that will still allow you to get to net. And it's simply you serve and then you approach off of the return. So you hit a serve and then the returner, because you have been serving and volleying, you have now sort of conditioned them into expecting you to come to net to serve and volley, so they're going to try and dip this down at your feet. Well, if you don't approach, and if you're not serving and volleying, if you're hanging back after your serve, this is now a short ball. You know, it bounces, and it's a short ball that you can rip an approach shot and follow that to net. So the advice here is be aggressive out of the gate, see if they're able to get it to your feet, and if they are, then just hang back after your serve and approach off of their return. And if your opponent is any good, if they're a thinking player, they're then going to realize, oh, this person is just delaying their approach to the net. So now when you serve, they're going to start trying to return deep and have the ball bounce somewhere here. Well, if they start doing that, if you recognize that, then you go back to serving and volleying, because balls up here now are going to be, you know, waist high or maybe shoulder high volleys, and you can stick those. So the whole thing with dubs is getting to net is a cat and mouse game, especially on a second serve where they can rip the ball. You know, if you're like me, you play a lot of players who, when you're hitting your second serve, you're obviously not going as close to the line. And so I play against a number of players who've got significantly better forehand returns than backhand returns. So if I'm just trying to get it in, a lot of them are going to move around and hit a forehand, a stronger shot. So yeah, I don't necessarily want to come in behind all of these things if they're able to get it down at my feet. But then you start playing that cat and mouse game where I'm going to stay back on some of them. I'm going to serve and volley on others,